think Josh is leading the team so far in eating while he's talking. 'Cause remember, on media day, he came up with like a plate of the melon from the.
Oh man, this guy, man.
Back-to-back practices. I asked Josh, when you heard that, did he groan? Or did he say, "Hey, you need to work"? How have the guys responded to you?
Good. I mean, I think we all kind of know that we need some gym time, and you know, in all honesty, practice is. I guess it's not the practice that I was used to having. You know what I'm saying? Where it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, where you just really you need a mouthpiece. We don't practice like that in the NBA no more. You know, most of the time, it is a little. It's gonna be, it's gonna be some scrimmaging or some working on half-court execution, but I mean, practice is an hour 15. You know what I'm saying? It's no big deal. So, it is what it is.
Is that part of the reason why there is slippage, though? Because you can't grind like you used to?
It is. I mean, I think it is, but I also think that you don't have to go that hard. You just have to be very intentional about what you do. We get up and down and play and compete, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it makes a difference. It makes a big-time difference. And, there's a lot of people or a lot of coaches or a lot of people who's like, man, you shouldn't practice or no physical and during the season. Somebody can tweak an ankle. I don't believe in that. You could tweak an ankle walking to your car. We got a job to do, and we got to get better, at things that we're trying to get better at. So it is what it is. It's our job to be good at basketball. And you can't be good at anything if you don't do it. So that's what it is.
In its simplest form, right?
It's just that simple, man.
Even though it's only been now 2 days of practice, are you starting to see tangible improvements in like the stuff you've talked about as far as like defensive focus and communication and stuff from where it's been the last week or so? Are you seeing actual results for that in the last couple days of practice?
Yeah, I do. I think when you just get reps at it. And you show it, and we talk about it, and then it's just one of them things. It's like, okay, all right, cool. Let's try to get back to that. But it's just not that simple, though. It's not as simple as just turning on a switch like that. We have to continue to work our habits, and we'll again have backslides and slippage and things like every other team, but. I feel good about us having been able to get in the gym for a few days.
One of the things you've got to beat the drum on is communication defensively. It's easy to kind of say we need to communicate more, How do you actually take the tangible stuff from practice and get that into 82? How do you get guys who don't normally talk to talk?
You got to just force it, man. I'm in practice, and when I don't see them communicating, I stop it. I blow the whistle. I talk about it. You got to talk, man. You're sitting right there. This guy's guarding the ball. Yeah, you're in a good help spot, but he don't know you're there. He can't turn around and look and then get. So I stop practice every time, just to remind us, to remind the guys that everybody got to talk. That's the only way that you can really do it.
Chauncey, I know it's too early to look at the standings and like where we're at necessarily, but do you look at it all? Just knowing that, since other teams haven't really separated in the West, that, hey, if we've done a few different things here and there, we'd be right up toward the top.
Yeah, you do, because it's just a natural thing to do. But in all honesty, I've probably looked at it once in the last month, because I said it all along. Now, obviously, I watch all these games every night, and I see who's winning, who's losing. I know what's going on. But I just feel like it's all about how you're playing. There's so much parity over here in the Western Conference. And in a week, if you keep following that thing, you have a bad week, you lose 3 out of 4, you go from 2 to 9, then your confidence goes there too. But you might not be playing that poorly, So I don't live on that thing, but I also know where it is, And I think that's how it's going to be most of the time. We're going to be beating up on each other the whole time, because of the parity. And it's all about, to me, how you're playing, because we can beat anybody on any night, And as we've seen, we can lose to anybody on any night. So it's all about your habits and how you're playing. That's all that matters.
With Justice, Nas, Gary all still out, how do you figure out your rotations basically with
Man, that
your
is
6, 7, 8
tough.
guys all
That's
gone?
tough. That's one of the toughest things about this job and my position is figuring that out. You know, we're like two different teams. You know, you got the vet group, and then you got to play these young guys now who, in all honesty, they're not ready. You know, to play in a playoff environment, a playoff team. They're not ready. There's just so much they don't know. However, you're forced in a situation right now where you got to kind of mix and match. You got to do it. You can't just play these dudes 42 minutes. You know, so it's a tough thing to do. It changes kind of every night, and also it changes with the game. You know, in the game. You know, if a guy come out there, he don't have the type of intensity that we need, get him out. Next guy. You know, it just is what it is. But we talk about it, we preach it, we teach it, and you know, it's tough, but it's a reason why, like, you know, a lot of coaches don't play young guys when you're trying to win. It's the reason why Ant didn't play that much and Nas didn't play that much before I got. You're trying to win, you can't take the time, you know. So it's a tough mix, and obviously I'm trying to do it, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Where do you think Shaden's at this point, as far as, you know, your level of, you know, comfort in having him out there in those sorts of situations versus maybe where it was?
I think he's still up and down. He's still very up and down. You know, as y'all have seen, there's some times where I don't go with Shaden in the second half because I didn't like what I seen in the first half. And there's some times where he earns. He eats what he kills every time. Come out there and you show some aggressiveness and your level of engagement is high. Boom, you earned yourself some more minutes. When you don't, that's fine too. Come watch the game. And that just is what it is. And it'll be that way for a little bit, but he's honestly, you know, he's been incredible the last 2 days in practice on both sides of the ball. So, you know, it'll be like that with him. And yeah, of course, I'm gonna be very patient the whole time because he could be a very, very special player for us.
Gary do everything today?
No, he didn't do everything today. He did a lot of it, though. He did a lot of it.
Is that because it's a back-to-back situation?
Yeah, you gotta, you know, and we went a little longer today, so you know you gotta keep those type of things in mind.
So likely out Friday?
Huh?
So likely out Friday?
I don't know. He could wake up tomorrow and say, "Hey, man, I'm playing."
Okay.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So is his call in at this point?
Well, no, it's a collective effort, but obviously we're never going to like say, "Nah, you ready? Play? You playing?" You're never gonna do that to a guy. You know, he needs to be comfortable with it. But I think we all feel very confident that he looks good and he's very close.
But when he says it, is when it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
You guys are all
we
comfortable
can never make anybody play.
Right.
And I'm never the coach that's ever gonna do that.
But sometimes guys will say they want to play, and you guys will say no.
Yes.
But this is a situation now. If he wants to play, you guys will say yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. So,
Curiosity to see Luka's game last night?
You know, it's funny you say that because I start our practice today, and I do this kind of often, but we got in the theater and watched the last minute of the game. There's so many things to learn from last minute.
Last minute of
The Dallas game.
Okay.
Down 9.
Down 9, you know, giving up offensive rebounds here and there. Had a chance to foul, didn't foul. Like, you know, just there's so many things you can learn from. We spent our first 15 minutes in the theater just going over everything that happened, you know, because my thing is always like these games are never over. The Knicks thought the game was over 2 or 3 times in the last minute. You up 9. You up 9 with a minute, you up 9 with 33 seconds. Thought it was over, you know. And just focusing in, man, you know. It's always good to learn watching somebody else because we've had our moments that I go in there and it's us and everybody's feelings are hurt and, you know, it's emotional. So it's good to be able to do it with somebody else And as I told them today, we've had a lot of moments that other teams put in their film room, you know. So that game was incredible, man. That was crazy. That was crazy.
That's something you do a lot. Show other teams, and show other teams.
You know, I do it. I've done it probably 4 times this year. You know, late minute situations, or not even last minute sometimes. Situations that happen during the course of a game that I feel like in the second or third quarter, this is where the game changed. Here's why it changed. You know, things that they would never even think about. You know, because most people just think, oh shoot, it's a tie game. 2 minutes left, man, we just go win the game. Well, there's so many reasons why you could have pulled away, you know, in a game, or they let us bring it back. You know, they could have closed us out in the third quarter. But just things to think about and talk about.
It's like Houston, you're like, that's why I put you guys back in the game. it was 10 with 2 minutes, and that was 9 with 35 seconds.
You know,
So.
I'm like, oh no, I ain't losing this game like that. And if I do, I'm gonna lose with these. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's that mix of young guys, and you know, it is what it is.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.